Alright, ladies and gentlefolks, with this game, the season has come to a conclusion. This season has gone fucking nowhere, it's flown by. And also with this conclusion comes with the conclusion of my time creating Preston North End content. Of course, there's still a couple more left to go until I stop the content, but you're not here for that, you're here for the Matchday report, so let's talk about that, shall we? So, we got Dick 3-0 by West Brom, back-to-back 3-0s, and this is probably one of the worst ends to a season we've had in a very fucking long time. We've gone 5 games goalless and winless now to end the season, which is incredibly, incredibly disappointing. Especially when if we would have won the first of those 5 games, we would have been in with a shot at the playoffs. So, whether or not this season has boiled down to teams around us being poor, or if it's, you know, just in general the league being difficult and we've somewhat caught up well, I don't know. But there's a lot of variables to take into consideration. But of course, we finished 10th, which is, I guess, higher than we finished last season. But just looking at that, it's fugly. It's still not. There's not pretty signs. Of course, there are other teams that have missed out on playoffs and whatnot. So this is your promotion lineup. Ipswich Town gone straight up. So every fucking congratulations. Leeds falling apart. Love that stuff. And yeah, it was a good campaign for these teams. We all expected them to finish in and around the top 6, if not all 6 of them in the top 6, but it is what it is. And in terms of who got relegated, we've got Rotherham, Huddersfield and Birmingham. If Rovers would have actually lost to Leicester, then they would have actually been relegated. Oh no, they wouldn't have done. Goal difference. Ooh, save it. Oh no, because it would have been minus 15. Would they have what did Birmingham score finish? I can't remember. But yeah, no, there was a chance of Rovers being relegated, basically, and I think it was just narrowly avoided. So, yeah, fair play. Argyle narrowly avoiding it as well. So, the only team to come up that's going straight back down is Rotherham, but that happened weeks ago. And the other 2 teams to go down is Huddersfield and Birmingham, which is a shame because I enjoy our annual trip to the John Smith Stadium, but it is what it is. We'll see who comes up alongside Derby and whatnot. So, yeah, they had 16 shots, 5 on target. We had 5 and 1. They absolutely took us for fucking fools. We didn't have any display of quality at any point during the game, I'm not going to lie. Woodman 5.5, smart double save in the first half, came flying out for the second goal and didn't get there. Story 5.5, kept things tight in the first half, was aggressive in defending, will be disappointed with the third goal. Lindsay a 5, had to tread carefully after his booking early on and got away with a few more fouls, was harshly penalised for the penalty, some poor goals conceded. Hughes a 5.5, no glaring errors in the 84 minutes on the pitch, so a shot from the edge of the box held in the first half, will be frustrated with the second goal. Next page. Brown a 6, go away. Huffed and puffed at the right wing back, did a decent job combining the dangerous Johnson at times. Potentially his final appearance in a Preston shirt, and if it is, thank you Skip for everything. You've been my skipper for years now, so Alan Brown for me will always be skipper. Watmore 5.5, centre back played midfield again and give it his all against some quality players. Tried to get stuck in and not overcomplicate things, but it was always going to be a tough game, doing a job for the team out of position. Dueno a 6, operating in midfield alongside Watmore, wanted the ball first and saw some of it, tried to be positive but couldn't provide that spark ultimately. Miller 5.5, got into areas during the first half but couldn't provide the killer cross, pass or shot. Had to get back and carry out his defensive duties throughout, which is a shame. Mads 5.5, saw some of the ball first off, got into pockets but drifted out of the game as Northern struggled to get him involved in the Albion half, which we were barely ever in. Reese was forced off inside of half an hour, having fallen awkwardly on his back in the opening exchanges, which I actually missed. Got him behind the Albion defence once but couldn't make it count, so now I know why he went off, that makes sense. Keane a 5, very little service up top, spent most of the afternoon running the hard yards. Millie a 5, came on after half an hour but had minimal impact on the game. What's new? And then we gave some of the younger lads a shot as well. We got Sirius 6, got up and down the right flank in the 20 minutes he was on the pitch. Stuart 5.5, introduced in 72 minutes, put himself up top, but the game was gone. Best of 6, slotted in at left centre back for the last 10 minutes, played some passes and prevented further damage. Evans a 6, came off the final 5 in what could well be his last game for North End. There's a lot of players that we have going out of contract this summer, and a lot of them probably will get let go, which is a shame, but you know, you got to do what you got to do. The team's not exactly, you know, it's not a thing. It's not one of those playoff sides, so we do need to make those changes. Okay, so Ryan Law said, where do I start? We were growing into the game and the penalty knocked our confidence just before half time. I have looked back at it. It is soft and the kid has dived. I agree. I think it was a bit of a dive. But to concede the 2 scruffy goals that we did, it is not us. I just feel like a broken record saying the same thing. I will have to analyse it, look back at it, find solutions to fix, because there is certainly not good enough. Since the Norwich game, we nowhere near the levels. The goals we conceded have been poor. I said to the lads that in there that whether it's a bit of soft underbelly or if we're just happy to let the season fizzle out, we can't do that. We've got to be on the money. We're representing the club and we're representing the fans. We haven't been good enough collectively in 4 games since Norwich. I've never looked for excuses, but I think inconsistency of decisions. We've had 14 KPIs go against us. That is a lot. 6, 8, 10 points, whether it may be to help us, which I do agree. We've had a lot go against us this season, but you can't be thinking about that. When you do put that into context, where those decisions get given to us, and then we do capitalise on said, said chance, then yeah, fair enough. We are probably making the playoffs, but you can't use that to say that we haven't been shit for a lot of this season. So, we had that fantastic start, and then we've been incredibly inconsistent since. But look, the goals we've been conceding of late are nowhere near schoolboy stuff. That's what I've got to get my head around. I've just told the group in there that there'll be new additions, more quality coming through the door. Some will stay, some will be surplus to requirements. I have to get it right next season with the recruitment to give ourselves the best possible chance. Our season has been ever so good up to Norwich, and after that it's just petered out. I don't accept that, and the fans don't accept it, rightly so, and I don't think the owner will accept it. We've got to find solutions and do better, which is fair enough. You've got to say how it is. Most of you will be going. On the performance, Law said, with all due respect to West Brom, they're a good team, well coached, fantastic players. You say this about every team. The strength in depth and quality is there, but if we just scored first to get the momentum, who knows? I just feel we would have fallen way short over the last few 4 games, certainly, to try and get anything out of the game. I want to win more than we lose, which hasn't been the case, and we've conceded a lot more goals. The only bonus is we've finished 10th, which is a good season, which, to be fair, it's a good finish. You can't deny that it's not the worst finish in the world, and it is an improvement, not by much, but it's an improvement. And we have had moments this season where there is, quality shimmering in, but at the same time, you look at the season that we could have had in retrospect if we didn't, if we would have pulled our fingers out a little bit, and that's when it could have been a bit better, but it is what it is, I suppose. That'll be interesting for the sport to discuss, I guess. But I wanted a very good season. If you ask any more, mid-table for Preston North End over the years is where it's been, but I'm trying to take it to the next level, and we've fallen way short these last 4 games. We've just huffed and puffed. The creation was nowhere near. It's a small detail of being offside when the ball is coming back, not getting in front of your man to receive the ball. The hardest part, and I'm disappointed in the way it's ended. I won't slag off the lads or badmouth them, but some of them have to take a look at themselves because performances of late haven't been good enough. Well, you've literally just slagged the lads off. It's a very contradictory statement. But yeah, it's like you shouldn't slag your players off, but if you need to criticise your player, this is something I don't like. If you need to criticise the player because they're not going to know what they did wrong. You can't just say, listen, you're a class player, but that they don't do that again, whatever else. You got to tell him, like, that was shit, work on that, because the amount of times Hughes has let something in at the back post this season has been unfucking believable. So, it's one of them ones. It's like, get a grip. Right. What Ryan Law said on his future at Preston under him after West Brom's defeat. Let's have a look, shall we? Ryan Law claims that he is 100% the man to take us forward. Okay. I am sick of apologising because I don't want too much. I don't want too much for performances, but I have to, and I get the frustration. Said Law post match, but I can say to them to keep supporting us. It's their football club, and we are here to try and get them where they want to go. I always thank them, the fans, for their effort, staying behind for the lads. I know there were 1 or 2 finger pointing, but that's fine. These are good lads. We are going to add to it next season, and you've seen how close we've got. And you've seen how close we've got next season. Sorry. To finish 10th is a bonus, but we should be more on the points. If we're finishing anywhere, we should be finishing just outside playoffs. I felt all season we had a really good chance of getting there, so again, apologies. I think they can go away and reflect like I will. I'll be working tirelessly over the summer to make sure we get some players in and recruit well like we have done to get 1 step closer next season. The day I can't take it forward is the day I walk away, and I've said that to Craig and Peter. I think the football, with what we try and do, is there. You've seen it, and I have seen it, to be fair, that this wing-back setup, but it only works when we have players that can do it. We can't continuously say we don't need to make signings because these players are being trained to play these positions. It's not the point. Keep your team the strongest where they are in their natural positions, which is why you need to have the replacements lined up for when players do get injured, i.e. Potts on the right side. Because ever since Potts has gone down, and McCann's gone down, and then Whiteman as well, we've felt weaker and weaker every week, and now it's just an absolute dicking every week. So, there needs to be more consistency, and there needs to be a bit more strength in the squad on every area. Right, I'm 100% convinced I can take it to that next level. We are going to get a bit more backing next season. Wow, what do you need more backing for? You broke the transfer record this season. That's a fucking strange one. He broke the transfer record this season with Bromwich and was willing to do it for Tom Cannon as well. Why would you fucking want more backing? I mean, I suppose, yeah, the more money, the more players, fair enough, but you shouldn't be needing more money to get more out of your squad when you're already doing quite well with what you have. But oh well, we will get more players and the squad will be thicker and better. Then it's over to us to deliver. You have to start well, because otherwise the fingers are out and people are pointing. I understand that, but we can't get away from it. The lads have had a good season. We wanted to have a very good season, and yeah, it has fallen short. I suppose last season we started shit. This season we started fantastically. Last season we ended a bit wishy-washy, and this season we've ended shit. So I think that's just like the crucial parts that are doing us here, because we've been inconsistent for both seasons under Law now throughout the middle. And we've gotten some decent results, and we've gotten some, we've got a good run of form every now and then. We've had some good points and blah blah blah, but it's getting to that point where it's getting really close to the wire now, where you think to yourself, if we continue to be this inconsistent, then things aren't going to go well going forward, and obviously whatnot, we need to finish and start strongly as well. So there's a lot to take into consideration here with what he's saying, which, I get he's just trying to defend himself and his job and whatnot, which, is what you want to do, and I don't like seeing people out of the job, but at the end of the day, if it's not just about the squad we have, there's not always one such thing as one winning formula. You have to adapt to these games, something we never do. We very, very rarely change shape and play different, squads fitted for different games apart from the wrong ones. So I think Ryan Lord's got a bit of learning to do himself on top of the players in the squad when it comes to getting these results and winning games and whatnot. But yeah, as a whole, I don't actually think it's been an awful season. It's just a shame that it's come, and ended the way that it has. But well, what can you do? So yeah, thanks a lot for watching Matchday Report throughout the season. This I've been just as inconsistent as Preston has this season with getting it out on time and whatnot. But oh well, yeah. So I appreciate everything throughout the season, and unfortunately I will not be back next year. But I want to try and do something else with this channel, because I've had it for a while now, and every time I change the formula, I seem to grow, and then it comes to a standstill, which is why I came to North End content creating, and we did have a good growth. We've had a good audience this last past 2 years, 3 years, but unfortunately it's taken up a lot of my time, and I can't really afford to lose said time anymore. So unfortunately this is the end for me, but like I said, there's a couple more videos I want to put out first before I do sign off, and when I do sign off there will be an ultimate sign off video. So cheers for everything again, and I'll hopefully see you in my upcoming last videos. Take care of yourselves, and hopefully we can get a better result next season.